Hello and welcome back to round 1, back 9 of FPO's feature card here at the 2025 Preserve Championship presented by Simon Line. I'm Allie Smith.
And I'm Raven Klein. We're here in Clearwater, Minnesota. Like Allie said, it is not clear, it is just water. We're dealing with rain throughout the whole round, kind of on and off, but basically misting is the control.
Yeah. We're seeing some decent scores, you know, a 4 under par from Missy Gannon, +1 from Own. Like, you guys are doing great in the conditions. Cadence Burge we haven't seen yet, but 6 down through 9. Like, ladies are really handling the conditions well.
Yeah, Hannah wins at a 4 down. We're seeing some negative numbers, but at this point, even is still putting you tied for 10th. So keeping it clean is the name of the game right now.
Yeah, here are hole 10. A new hole, par 4. You've got OB that tightens as you get closer to the basket, left and the right. The right would be the cart path, left is like the creek. You're trying to throw a shot. If you could get to that sidewalk we just crossed over, you'd be awesome, stoked. And then approaching to the basket is tough on the second shot. I think most ladies we're going to see kind of lay up below this hill before a blind approach. There is a bunker, not a hazard, just sand in there. That's a great aiming point. We're going to check in with Kristen. It was windy. We'll keep saying that. She keeps it low, pushing on a hyzer.
Pushing to that left side, it's tough because you don't want to risk going OB, but I think that the second shot is so much easier if you can push this left side.
So she is short of that sidewalk of the bridge. It's going to throw a big hyzer, see if it can climb the hill, stay up there.
Nice.
Wow, skips it into that safe bunker.
Yeah, that's abnormal
amazing
for us to have a bunker that's safe. With a birdie. That is a beautiful way to play this hole. Very clean.
Yeah, like we talked about how hard this was, and she made it look really easy.
Own up first here for the 10th.
It's like throw it at the right side OB so that it maybe won't skip left side OB. Own did it perfectly, right in the middle.
Yeah, of all the holes we've played so far, this grass just seemed to be skippier. So we were getting more flares on shots and things like that in this back area. Silva's shot a little bit low, but she is safe and in the middle.
A new disc from Missy. I haven't seen this one. Is it a Thrasher? It's overstable if it is. Getting a flare skip.
This is actually a Z-Force.
Yeah, it's the overstable.
Yeah, overstable was the choice here.
Which is scary when you don't want it to fade left.
Yeah.
And there's a...
Trying to avoid the left, I just threw way too flat with that disc and pulled it to the right side OB, which is unfortunate.
And you're facing a headwind now. One
Yeah.
stroke back. Get down, get down. Too hot.
Too hot. Yeah, tough. The run up was more of a run down the side of that little hill. Not enough overcorrection. You're still dealing with the right side path OB and the left OB, and poor decision made. But Silva able to clear the path, and she scooted her way between the two trees up at the corner.
Yeah, and this is the play. Just kind of throw it to those trees on the right side, and
A little shrug.
if you can almost be a little shorter there, you can see the basket for the approach up. Doesn't really advantage you to be like spiked into the hill. Ooh, a little slip from Owen that looked painful to me.
Yeah, she definitely slipped. Not much you can do about that.
Overstable disc. Gonna go left.
Yep. This one just pulled a little bit. Did catch the trees. Lucky that it didn't roll down the hill.
Nice. Friendly.
Friendly. Yeah, I got one. Owen from her OB shot. Nice approach there into circle 1.
Yeah, and so Missy can see the basket. You can see she's short of the trees. You gotta...
Kind of launches this one. You can see the string. The OB does go entirely left and then behind the basket. So she's just like 1.5 meters away from being OB there.
It's a tough shot. Like, it's so short, but you have to throw up the hill. You have to really control the nose angle to get it to land in the bullseye.
Yeah.
Ooh, staring you in the eyes. breath.
Right over the hill.
Come on.
Things were very slippery.
Thought you had that one.
I did too, out of the hand.
Mm-hmm.
There was another C2 bid, you know, uphill. You got your feet on an angle. Missy missing high and a little bit left.
She's looking at back-to-back bogeys. That's a good bogey save after going out of bounds, like being able to execute, getting up the hill, making the putt for own.
Yeah, this would definitely be a softer 5, but there were certain aspects of the hole, you know, where you're like, man, that is a tough 4.
Yeah.
Silva, low left chain out on her putt.
Make good on the bogey. Yeah, this hole played aggressively over par, 1.22. The only birdie was Kristen that we saw. What's the out of bounds? 26 out of bounds.
That was only 2 of those, so that's
Second most difficult, not the hardest.
really.
We should have played what's the
So
hardest
18,
hole. Oh yeah,
right?
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a triple bogey for me.
Meh.
That's where I'm gonna leave that.
That's
It's
okay.
a bummer, you know.
Yeah, no, it happens.
And then single bogeys for the rest of the card. So that's one where you're gonna move on, and we get to one of my favorite holes on the course, hole 11. This is a par 3, 269 feet, plays closer to 300 feet with the height that you have to give it to clear the wall. The right side, they did change this OB line this year. You used to be able to land on that lower part of the hill, and now you have to either lay up short and go over, which no one's going to do, or land at the top of the hill.
Well, we don't know who we're checking in with.
Oh,
There we go.
sorry.
Cadence Burge. Can't see the red hair.
She's hiding her long red hair.
She's opting for the hyzer over the bush on the right. Ooh.
Beautiful shot.
Flashes crossed.
For the most part, that is one of the 2 shots you're going to see, either a wide hyzer or people who go straight at it.
That's a Cadence Burge putt. Straight leg, hyzer spin, right side. I've been playing with her since she was 13. Yeah, she's good.
Very cool to see.
Here's kind of that's a different, not how she wanted to release that, I don't think. Overcommitted.
Grant dodging the disc. So she just barely did not cross the inbounds corner.
The new
corner. Yep. Which is an adjustment because some players would play that flex up the right side.
Yeah.
Not available this year.
Mm-hmm.
Silva with a great shot, very smooth, inside the circle for birdie.
This is a little pulled from Missy. You can see a lot of precipitation. That's might just be.
Ooh, just cleared that top.
Don't matter.
Don't matter.
She'll be putting. You going mid? You going fairway?
I did go the fairway. I
Yeah.
went with a Vandal so that I could
Flip
do
up.
more of a flip up.
I love it. Oh, and everyone was calling for that. You're just barely too high.
From the tee pad, that one looked.
I told you. I was like, I only
I
have.
told Missy while we were walking up after the last hole, I was like, I'll just ace this one, and then I won't feel bad about the triple.
So yeah, Own having to pitch up from that left side short. Oh, lucky to stay
Yeah,
up top.
She was talking to that one a lot. She was like, you better sit down. You can see the string on the inside of the bricks there. Just inside the circle for my birdie putt.
Online, just, you
Height-
haven't gotten to get in the
height was-
routine. Yeah.
Height was all over the place today. Silva putting really well this round.
And it looks like it's aggressively started to rain now.
Yeah, this was when it picked up for us.
Own for her 4th. Good putt. On the straddle again. And it's a very narrow straddle.
It is. And Missy able to capitalize on her birdie.
Good bounce back after the back-to-back bogeys on 9 and 10. Yep, good par.
Yep.
Those are the holes. There's the preserve hole of like, I can birdie this.
It's
okay,
right there.
par. Yeah. Through 11, we got 2+3s and a few under par. And Cadence through 11 is 7 down. We are back. Hole 12, par 4. This is one we've seen before. You gotta throw a driver past this bunker, but also past this hill ideally if you can land in this nice green, lush spot. You gotta pick a gap to go through a few trees, and I like that it has a second set of trees right here that you have to really ensure you hit your gap with your second shot. The basket is perched on this bushy stump. The second shot is... We don't see a lot of them on courses that we play. Like the double gap and it being a bit far.
Yeah. Silva pulls her shot to the right and hits this one skinny tree. It's kind of like the tree to beat if you're going to try and take a wider approach.
Missy going to show us the more straight, direct. Missing the bunker, perfect. But is on top of the hill, but at least flat, not on the actual slope of it.
Yeah. If you're trying to be aggressive... You go inside a little bit more to then leak left, but the error there is if you push too far left, you're going to cut yourself off from the corner.
And this is not too far left.
No, it's tight, but it's not too far.
Right. Might be a bit distance. Might go like a fairway or a distance driver instead of just some people
Correct.
maybe mid.
It's just a little bit more of an aggressive angle maybe.
Mm-hmm. Here, Owen looks like she left it in the bunker a little short, making for some tough footing. Yeah. Silva is short here. She'll just have to lay up through the gap. Needs to get left.
Beautiful shot, though. Like you mentioned earlier, I mean, Silva is just known for her standstill. She has such control, but doesn't lose a lot of power.
I was curious in practice if we were allowed to pour water on the sand if it was dry. Like 18, it's really loose and hard to throw from.
So if you put water on it.
So I was curious, yeah, did it make it easier? Yes, but no, but, not worth the time or waste of water. Yeah.
Missy's second shot.
Hits the first gap.
Great height control, really using everything she has. She just clears the top of the hill, and she is in the circle for a birdie. That was beautiful. Mm-hmm. Common error there is a little bit low, hitting the berm instead.
Yeah, you were pinched, like you said. That's a tough shot. Going for it, you can get there distance-wise, but...
Yeah, you definitely can, trying to push more of the center or the right gap. I went inside and clipped a branch. Silva, with her approach, just about to get through, but catches that last low-hanging branch, and she is looking at a circle 2 putt to try and save par.
I've never seen Owen throw like that.
Yeah.
Just a little, ultimate spin putt, or spin
You'll
toss.
see a lot of people almost aim for this bush as an approach thing because it'll just catch you.
Perfect.
Like 50-50?
And if you're in it, you can't miss.
If you're in it, yeah. Hard to miss. Yeah. I won't say can't,
Yeah, right.
but hard to. This is for Silva to save her par.
Looks like a bit of a headwind. No way.
Beautiful. Catches that right side of the chains.
Eye roll. Yeah. Oh. Dang. Jomez. You can tell that was a confident putt. The hand was like wide open handshake.
Yeah.
Like clean. Didn't flip it
She
over.
didn't-
Wasn't
She didn't
timid.
accidentally make her putt, but I think she was a little surprised that it caught.
MVP love.
This is Missy for a birdie.
Ooh, wobble it in there. Perfect.
Perfect.
So good.
Owen from just behind the bush for her par.
Do we think this is taller or... Okay, it's right. I was like, is it taller or shorter than a lighthouse, as Madison
A
calls
little
them?
bit taller.
Yeah.
Yep. I can tell just from like the
Getting
reach
your
in
arm in.
angle, like, do I have to lift my elbow to get it? Or can I? Missy able to get both of those bogey strokes back on the last 2 holes. Cadence still charging ahead at a 7 down. Hole 13, par 3, 348 feet. A very picturesque hole when you get down and get to see the river behind the basket. The river is the only OB that you have to worry about. The right side can get really tricky if people overturn it while trying to get down here. But you're going to see players throw just a straight shot, whether that's a controlled, maybe mid or fairway, or people who might flip something up and then leak left so that you can putt across at the basket versus toward the river.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Missy do that with her Thrasher, kind of hyzer flip to the middle, and if it leaks left, whatever. But it's 350, so like that's a good distance shot for us.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful shot from Missy.
Keeps it low so that you aren't going to get that glide and drift from a distance driver.
Correct.
It's really easy to pull discs to the right on this hole or the wind flip it like we're going to see here. Fortunate to just kick and sit, but it's going to be a tough approach right at the river.
Yep. Sometimes it's almost nice to be a little bit further away so that when you approach, you don't feel so bad about the layup. I got a very nice kick through the trees to circle one.
Minnesota love.
Yep.
Yep. This is the black, I'm going to guess, Destroyer.
Star Destroyer.
Yeah, from Own.
And she leaks to that left side that I
Yes.
was talking about. Honestly, a good play.
Yep.
This is a hard 2 to get. I kind of consider this a bonus 2, especially on windy days. Silva with a little step out Annie approach. She leaks just over the side of the hill, but she does check up. Own also just laying up under the basket.
Here we go, Raven.
I felt good about running the putt.
Yeah, definitely.
You win some, you lose some. Down here, you can't see. I actually landed on a stump, so the footing, very slippery. Just left it low. Only reason I knew it rolled is because I looked over and I saw the cameraman panning, and I was like, oh, okay.
Ooh. And it kind of gets in your head. Now you're putting back at the
I
water.
didn't feel too bad about it. It was a confident putt.
Oopsie.
And then I just had to take a second. It was a confident release. I felt fine about it. This one went pretty much all the way down to the river.
But safe.
But safe. And at that point, I was like, you know what? We've done enough.
Yep.
No one wants to putt 4 times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
But it happens. Hopefully I'm not, I didn't get in Missy's head.
Yeah, iced Missy.
I iced her. She does leave that low cage, unfortunately, but she will tap in a par.
With knowing like how you putt and how good you putt, I wouldn't have changed it either.
Well, and that's
Me, I would have laid up that second. But
all
no.
3 putts, they were different putts. They were all, well, the long one wasn't in the circle, but I was like, you got to get up to the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't have changed it. It's a bummer that that's the way it unfolded.
Yeah. It's also
they were
really
all putts that you make.
It's all really steep. This doesn't show it very well, but like, yeah, she's putting it really nose up to get that in the basket. So Silva being close, but like you had an aggressive nose up.
Yeah,
tough
and it's
putt, so.
all mud. It
Yeah.
is what it is. The river was beautiful though. I took a second down there while everybody was tapping out. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
this is usually the place that I see a bald eagle.
Oh, okay. Not today.
No, actually, like 2 holes later, we saw one.
Whoa. Spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if the cameras saw it, so
Only 4 birdies on 13 today.
I believe that.
Yeah, tough. Hole number 14, par 4. One change to this hole. The big tree in the middle is gone. The tee shot's so much easier now. It is downhill. You need to aim at the right side and let your disc be overstable and fade to the middle. A big second shot, slightly uphill. The top portion of the field's going to go for it for that birdie look. It is a dangerous green. They also added, I think, OB on the right side. I forgot about that. I think it was
new this year.
It was just brush, and you didn't want to go there. The river's lower, so now I don't know why you would make it OB. Anyway, ooh, bit of a backup throw, or yeah, they're throwing into second feature cards gallery.
Yes.
Missy showing us how it's done, letting your disc kind of hyzer. If you get a bit further than that, you'll see ladies go for that second shot towards the green, but that should just be a pitch up from there.
Yeah, on less windy days, people get more aggressive with this tee shot, and they can get some really good distance, allowing people to get to the pin on the second. But on days like this, you're just looking for safe approach and most likely a par. Owen kind of scoops this one, and she actually goes OB before the bridge.
Short.
So she is on the short side.
Little too flat and straight out of the hand. Needed the nose to be a little pushed more down.
Yeah.
It's safe. You'll get it back.
I'll get it back. I was looking to throw a lot lower with the wind that was happening. Poor execution. Not much you can do about it.
It's hard coming off a triple bogey, too. Like, you didn't have much time to breathe between the triple and the tee shot, so.
Yeah. Owen hugs this right side, freshly OB, but she curls back in and no problem.
And that's kind of the quote-unquote pitch up I was talking about. It's still a full throw, but it's not an attempt at the basket.
Correct. Silva, another standstill here. Good control. She does skip toward the OB, but luckily this is one of the other OB lines that has that little bit of wood. So if you're staying low, you can even be saved by it.
This is a good rip.
Yeah, just trying to make up some distance. I also skip to the side, and I'm at one of those zones where it's really easy to choose to lay up.
Yes.
Instead of making a
Yeah.
putt toward the downhill.
Captain's Thrasher by Missy. Wide right, knowing that it is a modified overstable frisbee. When she gets it to the circle, she's got big distance. Missy's been sneakily increasing every event.
Yeah, she's very smooth, and I think people sometimes just forget to mention her when they're talking about some of the big throwers, and I'm like, she's dialed.
That's the word. It's dialed, right? It doesn't matter. She's not throwing overstable or hyzer flip this, that, and the other. It's like she knows her frisbee and knows exactly how far it goes.
Yeah. Owen with a simple approach. Silva getting her putter up to the bullseye. I'm looking to do the same thing. Keep it low, right over her disc. Just want that tap in. If you got to get a bogey, make it easy.
Birdie putt here. Oh,
Just
another
low.
one low.
That's about her third, I think.
Yeah.
Birdie putt missed low cage.
Second in a row for sure.
Yeah.
That's a good bogey save from where she was off the second shot.
Yeah.
But in those moments, it's hard to tell yourself that and believe it. Hindsight, you're like,
That's
okay,
true.
yeah, that was a good bogey.
Silva in for her par. I'm fairly happy to rock up with a bogey after the OB. When you're fighting the wind, honestly, things might not go your way, but if you can decide to have a better attitude about it, you can save a lot of anguish by just choosing to be in a slightly better mood or letting things happen. Missy still with the 5 down. Cadence seemed to run into a little bit of trouble, so she's tied again with Missy. But Hannah, Silva, Holland, all right behind them. I mean, they're one hole away from somebody having a mistake and it all being tied up. Hole 15, par 5 this year. That is a change. Last year it played over par by over a stroke and a half. You do have a Mando right off the tee on that right side. The left tree looks like it should be, but it is not a Mando. So a lot of players are throwing something straight, maybe some of the sidearm players. Then your second shot is really big, trying to get down to the big tree that the drone just flew by. And now this year, approaching up to the basket, players can play it the same way for a birdie now, instead of just trying to get a par.
And the big distance throwers can be rewarded. This is definitely eagleable. If you
it's
can
doable.
crest the hill with the disc turning the opposite way as this one, you're in great territory for a birdie. But this is great territory for a birdie.
Yeah, she's still not out. But anything that can go to the right, we could see an eagle here. Silva pulls hers just inside the Mando tree.
But cuts a bunch of distance off while still staying on top of that berm. See if throwing that black Star Destroyer. Get up over the hill. Yeah.
Oh, just gets the skip. It's a huge benefit to crest the hill.
Yeah, it's kind of wild to watch coverage like this. Like, I was out there and I know what it was like, and the camera doesn't look like... It looks like you're just playing disc golf. It's kind of sunny out. There's no rain or wind. I mean, you can see some of the trees, but like even on live coverage, I heard them kind of mentioning, "Oh no,
It's all right.
are you okay?"
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a weird kind of ankle slip on the other foot, so I was able to like follow through, but as I fell,
Feeling
yeah,
it.
I was
Yeah.
just like, oh. And I had tested it like 3 times before I went because I was like, this is possible.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't stop me from doing it.
Nope.
It was more of a, hey, this could happen. And then it did. So like, that's why I wasn't surprised or,
Yep.
you know,
Ready for it.
exactly. And that's all you can do sometimes. Silva's also on that hill.
Oh,
near
okay.
The top.
She didn't get to the top.
Yeah, she didn't quite like get over it. So she just had to stand still. Still able to do something with the distance here. You know, Owen was just at the top. She threw another stock shot. Missy can do the same thing.
Turns it over a little bit. There's no out of bounds, so it doesn't matter, just distance. But now she's wide open for a chip up.
Yeah, I say if you
Approach.
can go to the right side, you pretty much take the tree out of play.
Yep.
I didn't actually see where mine landed, so I was happy to see that it was pretty much in the middle of the fairway.
Did you range this, or did you know you could get there?
I knew I could get to the
Okay.
circle. Yeah, it was probably like 380
Mhm.
to the basket from where I was
Nice.
at. Or to the tree. Yeah, to
Yeah.
the basket. So
Yeah, you're-
350 to the tree.
Mhm. So you're putting
Yeah.
with the slip.
And that's still putting for birdie,
Yes.
you know, with a slip on the hill. So,
And so I think this is a great change. You can call it soft, but with the ability for some to get the 3, it's got scoring separation without it being bogeys and double bogeys.
yeah,
no
and
out of
I
bounds.
do really like that.
Mhm.
Owen swings hers wide perfectly, gets a skip and a roll right to the basket.
I call these the musket holes. You must get them. It's a preserve hole. There's a lot of them that you're like, we all got to birdie this.
Yeah. It's a scoreable course, but it's got teeth.
Should have thought about this one for the easiest, but the tee shot's not that easy, so I'm glad maybe I didn't think of it.
The Mando gets in your head, I think, or gets in some players' heads. This is just outside the circle. Fairly reasonable tailwind. So,
That's tough.
you know, as someone who doesn't putt very high, I adjusted how I thought,
Yeah.
you know, and it just dropped. Missy, good for her birdie.
On these windy days, it's hard to be consistent with the putter because the wind is inconsistent.
The wind is inconsistent. You might have a headwind, then a tailwind, then a crosswind, then you know, everything is going to change and your stance might be different. So you don't want to change your game too much, but you obviously have to adapt to the weather, and that can be hard to do 18 different times.
Drop in birdie.
Yeah, Missy, Silva, and Owen all dropping in a birdie, and I dropped in a par.
This was an easy hole. Played pretty well. 19 birdies. Under par. We love under par holes.
Yeah, that's great. Missy getting her score down to 6.
What's going on, guys? Hold My Bag just launched the greatest disc golf fantasy game in the universe.
Hold My Bag just dropped the best fantasy disc golf game the planet has ever seen.
I want to tell you guys about the newest disc golf fantasy game on the market.
One of my favorite parts is the Hold My Bag. This is something that we started doing, and it's actually a lot of fun.
Hole 16, par 3. We have 2 positions. Today we are playing the A position, the short position. Is that right?
long
long
position.
position.
I know the koozies on the short one.
Right,
but-
that got me there. The whiskers are going to make things look a little crazy. They're not much separation here. The big thing to deal with is the mound and making sure that your the stability of your disc is matching where you want to land so that you're not over stabilizing and going left or flipping it to the right. The out of bounds would be the lake to the right.
Yeah. The only other thing people have trouble with is shorting it, and then they end up either in or right behind the bush that's short left.
Right.
That is the most common error, I would say.
Missy's just dropped. Like she hit it out flat, like knew it was an overstable thrasher, and just got to the circle.
Yeah, we had a little decent headwind here. Nothing quite like some of the other holes. Silva just hitting the edge of the hill and getting a roll around, but still in circle one. Owen lost her caddy here. That's why you saw her looking around. So she's
Justin's gone.
throwing the disc that was in her hand.
No.
But she looked and she was like, well, at least it's this disc. She's like, I'm glad it's this one.
Okay.
So I Star Destroyer.
He's going to get his earful on that.
I go for the wide play.
You get
this.
a lift instead of the drop that Missy got.
But I still got the curl.
Aww.
And then the roll away. That side of the hill, pretty notorious for that.
You didn't get the Silva roll.
I did not. No, I didn't get the curl.
Ooh.
Yeah, Owen going with a wide hyzer around that bush.
Scary.
Tap in par.
But
yeah.
Done.
The wind picked up so much.
That's a tough putt in the wind. You can see their lanyards ripping. It's
Yeah. And it changed. It was a headwind on the drive, and then I was putting into a headwind, and I was like, I don't entirely understand, but
no problem for Silva.
I was like, she should have gone first, showed me.
Yeah.
Now I got it.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to be on the hill. Look, their lanyards stopped moving. There's no wind now.
And an unfortunate birdie miss there for Missy. The putter kind of going cold on her on this back nine.
Yeah, a little bit. I tapped in my par. And then Missy and Owen just going to come up and tap in theirs as well.
Yeah, that's one of those preserve holes. You're like, it's right there, 310.
I gotta say, it's 310 feet. Everyone can reach it. There's not a lot of obstruction. You don't have to hit a gap off the tee. And yet, only one birdie on our card. Keeping it clean, though. You can see now, even is at 9th. So the course is definitely getting people today. Moving on, another one of my favorite holes, a very iconic Minnesota hole here, 17, par 3. It's only 243 feet. It might be one of the shortest holes we have on the tour.
Might be.
You just have the OB along the left side and then the creek behind the basket. A nice tunnel shot. You're going to see people throw putters, mids, maybe someone if they want to flex it. Like Owen probably still throws a faster disc.
Right. Well, if she found her caddy, she's throwing to Star Destroyer.
He
otherwise,
has returned. Silva using the distance and hyzering, or using the gap.
Yeah,
all of the gap.
Airspace up top.
Using the airspace, and she leaks out to the left side.
Nice low little kind of hyzer flip from Missy.
Yeah,
maybe
I
a
like the
soul
height.
meteor, something like that. It looked like Owen was throwing 2 frisbees for a second there. It was clear. And that happens. It kicks off the right tree, rough out of bounds. It's over punishing, but it's a short hole, so
yeah, it
hit the gap. Like these.
Yes, I threw a gatekeeper here. That is one of my favorite shots. Missy's was a buzz, an ESP buzz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Owen from OB on the left side is just approaching up here for her bogey.
Yeah, Owen didn't really have the opportunity to attack too much today, unfortunately.
You can see this is when we had a second bout of rain kind of pick up. Silva high, hitting the band.
Frustrated with that.
Yeah.
Understandably so.
Yeah, of course. I mean, to be 20 feet. Missy good on the birdie.
Woo. 7 down in these conditions.
Yeah, she was, confident as ever.
What wind?
Just playing so smooth. you can see the confidence comes in when, like you were talking about, she just knows her discs really well. She trusts everything. And when something doesn't go right, she's like, well, it wasn't the disc. She's like, that was me.
Yep.
Which is a big separation. I'm able to tap in my birdie there. Silva takes her par, Owen with a bogey, and Missy with her birdie. Yeah. That's cool. That's cool.
All right, things are close at the top and moving down the leaderboard too. You know, it's all kind of knotted up.
Yeah.
Hole 18, it's a tough one, par 5, 942 feet. You got to throw a big hyzer over this lake. Hopefully you're in a good spot to give yourself the opportunity to get to the right of this bunker on your second shot. And your third, you got to clear a second lake. The bunker here is safe. It's not a hazard or anything. It just makes for tough footing. Hopefully you can get your third shot over into that bunker or safe, obviously, on the green. Give yourself a look at a birdie 4. It's going to be tough today in these conditions. We're checking in with cadence. 6 down. Trust that disc over the water and over that Kate bush. Puts it in prime position to get moving.
Yeah. You don't have to bite off a lot of distance on this hole, just like we talked about on 7. It's, I think, more helpful here than it is on the earlier holes.
This is the shot you want the distance on, is the second one, making this third shot less scary. Whoa, trusting a turning disc here. It is out a little early.
Ooh,
whoa,
wow.
Where are we going? Where are we going?
Whoa.
Oh.
Does it curl back in?
Is that out of bounds?
The
There was
yeah, I would say the far side of the sidewalk.
off
So she hit the RV
Apologies for calling it out first.
Oopsie.
and rolls back in bounds.
It was right around that circle thing.
Getting some graduate love. She's just graduated high school.
That's crazy.
Wow. And is able to approach. She's never probably thrown from there before.
I don't know if anyone has ever. I mean, they definitely don't practice from there.
Finishing a fabulous round. She probably was a little upset about the double. I know her, but ooh. Watch out.
Wow. Gotta go find the owner of the RV and just be like, hey, sorry, but also thank you.
Let's see what we can do here on 18.
Yep.
Trust this first throw over the lake.
Yeah, not messing with it. I just gonna hyzer to safety.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that.
The wind. It looks like a right to left.
Yeah, it was changing. When Missy threw, it almost seemed like right left. Mine felt like a headwind, and I was like, we're not messing with it.
Safe. That's the mistake to make. It's
Exactly.
in a tall grass, but safe.
I'm just going across. I didn't have to play it as safe.
Yeah.
But safe is safe. Silva actually getting a little bit more distance here, trusting herself over the water.
Let's see what Owen can do. She's going to throw something probably pretty overstable. Needs to make sure it has turn. At least she played it on the short left side. That should make it over the water. But will make the next few throws tough.
Owen from the flowers here.
Short of the bunker, so she will probably have to lay up again.
Yeah, ideally you go to the right side of the bunker. Released high.
You're trying to get
this
this
one.
distance.
I was trying to get distance. Unfortunately, with my angle and height with the wind, I leaked over into the left side. This does pinch you off from the hole, and there isn't really any way to be aggressive. Whereas Missy over here on the right side, she does land in the bunker. Clearly someone else was just in that bunker. Sand isn't ideal, but
it's wet sand, right?
It's wet
so we'll
sand
see.
and it's unobstructed.
Yep.
So Silva landing in the landing zone for what I would consider, and she'll have an open look to approach for the basket.
Here's that second layup from Owen. Yep. Oh, I yepped way too soon.
It did look really good, but her roll put her into the tall grass.
Oh, man.
So from where I was at, the branches are too low, the wind is too high. I just had to pitch out to the side.
Smart plan. 2 rounds left.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of golf left.
Oh, the
Silva turns hers over, does not make it inbounds safe on the other side. So the OB across the water does cut in on the right side.
Oh, weird flip.
Yeah.
It looked like there was a lot of hyzer out of your hand.
Yeah, and that was the wind.
Yeah, for sure.
Was like, and then it stalled and ended up falling into the bunker, which not a problem.
Here we go with the wet sand. Let's see if my theory's right. Yeah, still tough.
Still decent movement. Missy sort of did the same thing. Hers flipped up, looked like it had really good distance, and ended up in the bunker just a little bit further than mine.
I wonder if it began being like a tailwind there. You know, like a headwind halfway, the tailwind the other half.
Yeah. Own pushing her disc, and she's just on the lip of the bunker.
Tough putt. This has been a tough hole so far.
Yeah, you can kind of see all 3 discs lined up. So Silva throwing a standstill here after her OB.
Get a little more flip out of it.
And bunker.
Short in the bunker. Wow, perspective here. The angle from you guys' backs, it looks like they're well over. And
3 out of 4 of them, we all were like, yep, they're good.
what a bogey save. Own Scoggins. I'm glad the putter kind of came alive for her at the end. That was a roller coaster of a round for her.
Yeah. It definitely lost her strokes in the beginning, and it saved her strokes in the back.
End, yeah.
So great putt from her. A good C2. 1 foot in the bunker, 1 foot out.
If we had not guessed, hole 18, yes, was in fact the hardest hole of the day. Oh, all but in. I thought you had that.
I did too.
Man. Played 6.36, a stroke and a third over par. 40%.
Missy. Oh, just she's left side. Hoping here Silva can get the, bookend our putts.
There we go.
Yep.
Another
The
good
furthest and the
bogey.
closest were able to make theirs.
For the par for Missy. Oh, she was so close to that birdie. There was actually only 1 birdie on the day. Maria Oliva, shout out.
Yeah, and then she does chain out left side there for her par.
I looked down for 2 seconds. Oh my gosh.
I tap in my bogey, and Missy just wanted everybody. She's like, I didn't want there to be only 3 6s on the card, so I figured I would add a 4th, and then we would all be the same.
Wah, wah.
So we do all end with bogey strokes there. A wide range on our feature card today, from a 6 down to a 7 over. Yours truly. That does bring it into a tie between Missy and Cadence. And then you will see Silva and Hannah win on the feature card, or tomorrow on the lead card.
Yeah. Hopefully some better conditions. No more rain.
Yeah, today was supposed to be the worst day of the weekend. So I'm really looking forward to the kind of scores we're going to see tomorrow. Everybody making their adjustments, fixing their putts, whatever it is. Hopefully less windy.
Top 10 is +1. So you can see a top 20 +6. The separation starting to happen. It was a tough day out there.
Yeah, I mean, it takes
field.
1 or 2 holes. So thank you guys so much for watching round 1 with us. Don't forget to subscribe to Jomez to make sure you can catch all the coverage. And we'll see you tomorrow for the second round.
Like, comment, subscribe. 500,000. We're almost there.
We can
Founders
do this.
Club. Let's
Yes,
go.
Thank you so much to the Founders Club. Don't forget to sign up for the Patreon. We love you guys. We can't do without you. So thank you.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Sunshine, get up on my body, know it truly, I feel fine. Get up, watch your body, and I feel that sunshine. Get up on my body, know it truly.